At the beginning of the movie, we are shown a husband and wife named Vincent and Sophie. Both of them used to run a butcher shop, but at that time, the condition of their shop was very bad because their work was completely stopped. During this time, some people break into their shop to protest against the killing of animals, and they attack them and run away. Then Sophie meets her friend Stephanie, who tells her, "I think you deserve a better person than Vincent because he hasn't done anything for you yet." During this time, we find out that Stephanie's husband, Mark, has a lot of butcher shops from which he earns a good amount of money. This is why he disrespects Vincent and Sophie so badly, which makes them very angry. And they leave. Meanwhile, she is talking about breaking up with Vincent, which makes him even more angry. Then his eyes fall on a man walking on the road. Seeing him, Vincent recognizes that he is the same man who attacked his shop, which is why he is seeking revenge. He chases after the man with his car and tries to harm him, due to which the man is crushed by his car and killed very badly. However, they are both terrified to see this, but still, they decide to take his dead body in their car. At the same time, they decide that they will dismember his dead body and throw it in different places. When Vincent cuts off the man's body parts, Vincent's dog eats a piece of his ear. He is very surprised to see this and gives him another piece to eat, which he begins to eat with great relish. The next morning, when Vincent is late for the shop, he asks his wife, "Have you sold anything yet?" But before she could say something, a lady arrives. She says, "I want the same meat as you just gave me because it tastes so good." Sophie is quite surprised to hear this, and she asks Vincent to check it. After eating it, she is quite surprised because it was so delicious. She asks Vincent what kind of meat it is. He says it's Iranian pork meat. After the lady leaves, Sophie asks Vincent again about the meat. Then he says, "I turned the dead body of this vegan into meat so that I could sell it to people slowly, and that was his meat." However, he seems to be removing the meat from there, but Sophie forbids him to do so. She says people will love it because it's delicious, and to a large extent, this also comes true. Because of this meat, their sales had increased a lot. Even a police officer buys the meat from them. Then, at night, we see Vincent cooking and eating this meat. That's when Sophie arrives while Vincent is enjoying the meat. Sophie says, "I already told you it's delicious, and even if we sell it at double the price, people will still buy it." The next day, their daughter arrives with her boyfriend, Lucas, to meet with them, where they find out that their daughter's boyfriend is vegan. That's why their daughter has stopped eating meat. When they find out that he works in a vegan restaurant, they go to the vegan restaurant because they were looking for a man who was completely vegan, whom they could use to get meat. Then they see the hotel manager there, whom Vincent pursues. However, Vincent was about to attack him, but because of his screams, he gets scared, gets in his car, and runs away. After this, Vincent's wife explains to him, "If we want to save our shop, you have to become a serial killer." Then, the next day, they pretend to be vegan and ask to stop eating meat. There, they meet a man named Joshua, who asks them to join his vegan team. So Vincent and Sophie arrive at his destination to meet him. They wanted to kill him, but when they see his comrades, they stop there. Hemra, a girl in his team, says that she met a man whose father had a lot of meat shops and she stole the key to one of them. When Vincent finds out that the shop belongs to Mark and not anyone else, he joins their team and leaves with them. Then they all arrive at the store wearing animal masks, and together they completely destroy the whole shop. Later, Vincent and Sophie are sitting in a restaurant. At that moment, a fight breaks out between them, which causes Vincent to leave Sophie and go away. Then a waiter from the restaurant comes to Sophie and talks to her. He offers to drop her off at home, and he even tries to chat with Sophie. Here, Sophie finds out that the waiter is a vegan, so she traps him with her words and takes him home. Although Vincent is upset to see this, she tells him that they can kill him. But when Sophie is distracting the waiter, she thinks that her husband will come and attack the waiter. However, Vincent clearly refuses to do so, which makes his wife very angry. She says, "I can't live with you. because you don't love me." After hearing this, when Vincent leaves the room, he sees the waiter, who is completely naked. Vincent is furious and strikes him on the head with a flower pot, killing him mercilessly. After that, they both make pieces of meat from the dead body and are very happy. The next morning, Sophie gets a call from her friend Stephanie, who tells her about the destruction of her shop. However, Sophie knew all about it because they were the ones who, along with the vegan team, broke into her shop and set it on fire. And because Vincent and Sophie's shop was doing so well, they decide to kill new people one by one, which they were really enjoying. But when they both call to meet a vegan named Winnie before they can kill him, the boy finds out the truth. He starts to run away, but due to fear, Winnie has a heart attack and falls to the ground right there. In the next scene, Vincent and Sophie go to Mark's house, where they also get their shop's meat tested, which Mark likes very much. He then asks Vincent about the farm from which he buys meat, but Vincent says, "You are my opponent. Why should I tell you about it?" Mark replies, "How are you competing with me? Last year I made a lot of money." To which Vincent says, "We feed people good quality meat, while you give them anything to eat." Upon hearing this, Mark becomes very angry, which leads to a fight between the two. Vincent angrily cuts off Mark's ear and starts chewing it. Both Mark and Stephanie are shocked to see this, how he is chewing and eating the flesh of a human being. However, Vincent spits out a piece of the ear to distract them and says, "You should have had a vegan." Then they both leave and start hunting new people. In the next scene, the two go on a picnic where they meet a man. Since he was a vegan, they both attack him. Afterward, Vincent and Sophie arrive at a vegan party where they were trying to find their next prey. There, they find Lucas, who is surprised to see the two of them at a vegan party. He says, "You both have not closed the shop yet," and also mentions that many vegans are being killed, adding, "This is all a conspiracy of butchers. And for that, we will allow a sit-in, because the next number could be ours too." A man present there hears all these words. In the next scene, we see Vincent and Sophie chasing a girl to kill her. Although she tries to escape, they both kill her. And when Vincent is cutting the girl's flesh at night, a police officer comes to their shop. Seeing this, Vincent gets very nervous. However, he manages to send the police officer away. But after seeing all this, Vincent becomes very scared and tells Sophie, "We should stop all this because we did it to save our shop. And now that our shop is completely safe, we should stop before we become fully psycho or cannibals, because now I want to eat even when I see living people." Then Lucas comes to their house to apologize. Here, Sophie wanted Vincent to kill Lucas too, but Vincent sends Lucas out, saying, "Do you have any idea how much our daughter loves him?" The next day, when they both arrive at the shop, the customers who come there demand the same old meat. Vincent says, "We have run out of that meat," and everyone in the shop leaves. After this, Vincent goes out of the shop with his dog. When Sophie is alone in the shop, the members of the vegan team come there and kidnap her. On the other hand, when Vincent sees the car of these people, he knows that they have discovered that Sophie and Vincent are butchers. It was no one else but the man at the vegan party who was listening to them who told the vegan team everything. When they are about to kill Sophie, Vincent arrives with a weapon. He attacks all of them and starts killing them in a very brutal way. However, during this time, Joshua also attacks Vincent and wounds him. But by then, Sophie frees herself and attacks Joshua with a hook, killing him. In the end, the truth about Vincent and Sophie is revealed by Stephanie and Mark, as they had suspected ever since Vincent chewed Mark's ear. With that, the movie ends here. Thanks for watching.